Welcome to the Fantasy Forecast. I'm here in the wasteland, and I'm watching running backs fall out of the sky like raindrops and boing, bounce back. Let's go, producer. Welcome to another Fantasy Football Advice Network exclusive, the Fantasy Forecast with Greinberg and Biggs. He is Greinberg, I am Biggs. We are here to talk about bounce back candidates for running back in your redraft leagues. CBS Sports, NFL.com, Yahoo, ESPN.com, your family league, destroy your children, your work league, destroy your cow workers with these running back picks that we're about to bring you. Viewers of the show, regular viewers will know we're going to give you two and then a one, a two and then one. It's going to be a 3 for 2.
3 for 2, 3 for 1
situation. So let's get into it. My first or third, my first third comeback, bounce back candidate at the running back position is Bijan Robinson. Now, Biggs, well, how can the best running back and the number one rookie running back in 2023 be a bounce back? He finishes the RB8 in PPR leagues last. How can that be a bounce back? I'll tell you how that's going to be a bounce back, because he's going to recover to his top 1 or 2 spot as a running back in the NFL. Now, rising tides lift all boats. You've heard that saying before, and Kirk Cousins is the rising tide that the Atlanta Falcons have been waiting for. Bijan Robinson last season was 9th in snap percentage among all running backs and 9th in PPR points. What? All right. He was 2nd in RB targets, but 4th in receptions. What does that mean? That means that his quarterbacks could not get the ball to him the way they should be getting the ball to him, which means that once he rises up to that 2nd RB in receptions, he's going to ascend the PPR point standings. Number 2, Denver Donkey, and I hate this is my second donkey, and I hate it. Javonte Williams, finally healthy. He's going to be pushed by rookies. He's got Audric Estime behind him, who's basically like Javonte Williams, but with like a thicker backside. He's right behind you, buddy. You better get it worked out, and I think he's gonna. I think Javonte Williams comes back like he did his rookie season and has a better year. How about 2 from you, Mike?
Well, I also have a guy that is coming off of kind of an injured plague season. He had 4 consecutive RB1 seasons, including 2 straight with over 21 fantasy points per game. And I'm talking about Austin Ekeler, who's in a new situation. He is 29 years old. Yes, there are certainly a lot of risks when we're talking about a 29-year-old running back. He is on the decline. He did not look very good last year, and I think some of that had to do with his injury. And, before his injury, he looked pretty good. He suffered a high ankle sprain in week 1 last year, and it cost him 3 games, but he plagued through it the whole season. And, a typical timeline for that type of injury is 4 to 6 weeks, and at a running back position, they're not really versed at using their ankles all the time, are they? Oh wait, they are. That is one of their key their key pieces of equipment is their ankles, and he was without it for most of that season, a healthy ankle anyhow. And I'm looking at Austin Ekeler with his price tag this year. He is going to be a guy that I think is going to have some value. Yes, we have Robinson there, and his outlook looks okay, but if the Commanders are going to be behind in some of their games. I'm looking at them going to be throwing the ball quite a bit. And who are they going to be throwing out of the backfield? And that's going to be Austin Ekeler. They're going to be a young team, and they're a young team on the rise, these Commanders. And I think with a rookie quarterback, they do have weapons around him. And I think they're going to use Austin Ekeler in the right way. And I think he's going to have a bounce back season in 2024. It won't be a top 12 running back finish by all means, but I still think he finishes within the top 24 in that range. And I think a bounce back season is on the rise for Austin Ekeler.
I didn't think he was your spotlight.
He isn't. Oh, sorry. I'll get through my next guy a little bit quicker, Biggs, for you. All right.
No, it's not for me. It's not for me.
It's for the viewers. Okay.
You have a lot to say, Mike. You have a lot on your mind, and we're here for it. That's why we're tuning in.
And my next guy is a guy that we should be kind of keeping our eye out for. He's a guy that came off a really good 2022 season. A healthy Ramondre Stevenson saw a 17.4% target share, and that dropped last year to 13%. You know, they had Zeke come in. Ramondre was injured for the last half of last season, but when he was healthy, he looked good. And Stevenson had a grand total of 3 rushes for 15 yards in total 2023 season. So there's hope for him in 2024. He will be in a good situation as far as they're going to need somebody to carry the load. They don't have a whole lot behind Ramondre Stevenson. They got Kevin Harris, Jermichael Hasty, and Keyshawn Vaughn on their roster, so they should be the lead back going into the season. He should have bell cow usage, and that's why I think he's going to resemble what he was more like in 2023 than what he was in 2022 than he was in 2023.
Yeah, talk about lack of competition in that backfield.
Yeah, so that's why it's more a lack of competition than his talent, and he definitely wasn't as productive last year. So we'll see what happens.
All right, my number one, and this is weird because I had a Saint in my quarterbacks. I had Broncos in my quarterback or wide receiver and running back, whatever I said. But it's almost like I was only looking at 2 different rosters, and that's not true. I was looking at overall fantasy finishes. But my number one spotlight, my number one bounce back candidate at the running back position is going to be Alvin Kamara. Now, you want to talk about old guys. Austin Ekeler is Alvin Kamara is also an old guy. However, I know you're asking, hey, Biggs, how can last year's RB11 bounce back? That's a pretty good finish. Well, I'll tell you, 18 points per game in 13 games is what Alvin Kamara scored. 18 points per game. You know who that was better than? That was better than everybody except for Christian McCaffrey. I talked about rising tides lift all boats. I also talked about Derek Carr having a bounce back year at quarterback. What does that mean? That means Alvin Kamara is going to be a beneficiary of that bounce back for Derek Carr. Watch what Alvin Kamara does in 17 games. If he's averaging 18 points per game in PPR leagues as a running back, he's going to finish as the RB2 if he finishes 17 full games. Is that going to happen? It could, because one of the things that we know about Alvin Kamara is that he played the entire last season, and it was a result of suspension that he didn't finish 17 games, not injury. Alvin Kamara is not prone to injury. It's very, very likely that he finishes 17 games at 18 points per game as the RB2, and he finishes RB11. That, my friends, is a bounce back.
Yeah, totally. Alvin Kamara is going to be a value in rookie and redraft this year, so get on him now. And because there's going to be a lot of hype train going up for Kendre Miller, like it should be, but Alvin Kamara still has some left in the tank, I think. And that brings up another guy who I think has got some left in the tank. And with Aaron Jones out of the way and A.J. Dillon Amir back up, the path is clear for Jacobs to take on another feature role, but this time in a young offense that's just getting going. Yes, Marshawn Lloyd was drafted by the Packers, and we all know I am very high on Marshawn Lloyd, and I like his future with the Green Bay Packers, just not so much this year with Jacobs entering the building. Lloyd should carve out a role on third down and eventually this year, but until then, I really like Jacobs in 2024. He has rushed for 5,500 yards in his career, averaging a 4.2 yards per carry. I love his touchdown upside in this offense. He led the NFL in rush yards just 2 years ago and, 2,000 yards from scrimmage in 2022 and was named first team All-Pro. Jacobs surprised many and was a league winner that year. In 2023, however, he missed 4 games, going for just 800 yards and 1,001 yard from scrimmage. So overall, the Raiders offense took a significant step backwards last season, and it isn't much of a shock that Jacobs did as well. Very frequently did we see running back efficiency go up and down, and on a better offense, Jacobs will be expected to produce better, and I think the Packers are counting on a bounce back campaign from their former first round pick, and they might expect more as a receiving asset. Jacobs is in a better position this year, and I'm projecting him to have a 65-35 split in favor of Jacobs over A.J. Dillon and Marshawn Lloyd. Jordan Love liked targeting his running backs last year. 94 times he targeted them. So it's not without the realm of possibilities that we see Jacobs garner 65 targets, a healthy full season with a lot of red zone usage. I'm looking at Jacobs to see more like his 2022 form. I can see him finishing as a top 10 running back in 2022, and that is a big bounce back from his 2023. He is a high-end RB2 right now, and I really like Jacobs in 2024.
Of course. Of course.
Of course. Yeah, man. Well, that is it for this week for us. We did a bunch of bounce backs. We covered quarterbacks. We covered wide receivers. And now
we covered running backs. I said it first.
You beat me to the punch. Your horse was first. Backs. Yeah. And, we're on a race right now to see whose fantasy forecast hat will come first in the mail. I still got to get mine ordered, so I think Biggs has got the front line. So check us out.
Just closer.
Yeah. Check us out on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. Check out our gear there. The fantasy forecast is blowing up, and we appreciate all our viewership. We appreciate everybody for tuning in, and we'll continue to bring this content to you all throughout this off season, and we're going to be ramping it up as the season starts. So check us out. We're going to be having a live show on Thursday nights after the game on top of the forecast, and I know Biggs has got a lot on the go. So check us out on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. We are bringing big things. Biggs, what do you got for us before we end the show here?
Well, I just wanted to say, follow us on Twitter and stuff. But more importantly, I want to say, crap, I should have prepared for this earlier. I want to say, you espero que voce gane to all our friends in Portugal. I want to say, where'd it go?
J'espère que tu gagnes.
Oh, I can't read Hindi. I hope you win.
I hope you win.
All our friends in Vietnam, Portugal, India, all around the world.
We hope
See
you
you
win.
next time.
Yeah. Peace out.